introduce the principal of Fugett Middle School, Mr. Leroy Whitehead.
Thank you. Judy stole my punchline. I was going to say my name is not Dr. Stanley, and I'm not here to tell you that school is closed tomorrow. Despite lots of interruptions with rehearsals, practices, having heard the group today in their dress rehearsal, you are in for a treat. This is a fine group, and I know they practice long and hard. Having been a principal of 2 of our 3 middle schools, and the parent of a musician in the 3rd middle school, my son now is in 9th grade in Henderson, still playing his trombone. Music is such an integral part of our program, and I would say, hazard a guess, again, being very close to the Westchester School District as a parent and an administrator, we have one of the finest, I think, music programs at the middle school level and throughout our whole music district, but I'm very partial to the middle school level. So, thank you all for coming. Fugett is proud to host this year's Honors Band program, as well as our Spring Fest coming up very shortly, too. So we are happy and honored to host you tonight. Welcome, congratulations to all of you, and enjoy the show.
It's been my very great pleasure to host this year's Honors Band. Your sons and daughters are not only exemplary musicians, they're exemplary citizens and middle school students. They comport themselves beautifully. They were attentive, they were diligent. They're everything that we could ask for in middle school students, and they're a credit to themselves, to their schools, and to you, their parents and families who raised them. One of my colleagues today said, "It's awesome that you're doing a concert today on John Philip Sousa's favorite day, March 4th. Yeah, okay, it's not original with me. At this time, and on that horrible corny note, I'm happy to introduce the band director of Stetson Middle School, Mr. Donald Kelly.
Thank you. Please welcome to the podium at this time the director from Pierce Middle School, Mr. Kyle Schallenberg.
Good evening. If I were to give you the story about a daughter who was pleading with her father to like the boyfriend that she had, you'd probably be thinking of something that was along the line of current TV show, current movie, maybe kind of the subject of a popular song. But in fact, I'm talking about opera, and I'm talking about the aria O mio bambino caro by Giacomo Puccini. And it is that story indeed throughout this one-act opera called Gianni Schicchi, which is one of his later works. It was premiered in 1918. So when a singer in an opera shows off in an aria, they're showing every musical dimension they basically have, how musically expressively they can sing. That's a real challenge when it comes to a group where there is no words. So they have to do it with their instruments. They're doing a very fine job with it. This is O mio bambino caro. Country Day Dances is by a modern and educator and composer, Will Owens. The piece really does speak for itself. It's a three-movement piece that depicts a typical country day. With the first movement, the morning waltz, we literally have a depiction of sunrise, not too unlike Grieg, with his depiction of it as well. And when we get into the next one, it's a pastoral, very lush, very peaceful setting, tranquil setting. And then we finish off with the very classic and familiar hoedown theme. This is Country Day Dances by Will Owens.
Debuting in 2009, Fireflies by Al City has sold over 4 million copies of the single, and as the video has more than 100 million views on YouTube. Composer and producer Adam Young describes the song Fireflies as a little song about bugs and not being able to fall asleep at night. Which reminds me of my first apartment, pretty much. Its rhythmic complexity is based on a 1980s synthesizer riff, so I hope you enjoy Fireflies. One more round of applause for Fugett song on drum set, Joey Mackey. The next selection, Firebird, was written by Igor Stravinsky. He was born in St. Petersburg, Russia. While studying law, his talent and passion for music composition came to the attention of a very famous composer, the composer composer of Scheherazade, Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. Rimsky-Korsakov became his mentor until his death in 1908. Stravinsky then was commissioned to compose a ballet in Paris, France. And that's Firebird was his first ballet. Later, very shortly afterwards, followed by Petrushka, and then also famously The Rite of Spring. Firebird was revived in London in 1934, but it only lasted a little more than a year due to World War II. And it lay dormant for some time until staging in New York City in 1949 under the direction of George Balanchine and scenery and costumes by Marc Chagall. And that performance lasted and ran for 15 years in New York City until 1965. Later revived 5 years later, in 1970, with Jerome Robbins as the director. And that is where this music, Firebird, became very famous in American popular culture. The excerpt you're going to hear tonight from us may sound familiar. It was the music played for the lighting of the Olympic flame just 3.5 weeks ago at the Sochi Winter Games.
on behalf of Mr. Kelly and his voice, it's been my pleasure to be a part of this. We really do look forward to this each and every year, really working with the finest that our schools, our bands have to offer. They come and do above and beyond here to put on this show, to show all these different ranges of emotions and expressiveness and musical ability that they have. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people that were sitting in front enjoying this right now for going that extra mile along with your children, making sure that they get to rehearsals, making sure that they have instruments, making sure that they even got involved in this in the first place, because without your support, your encouragement, your presence in their lives musically and otherwise, this is why things like this perpetuate. And we want to thank you and wish you the best as these kids go on for the rest of this year, for next year, and as they continue their musical endeavors at middle school and beyond. The last piece we have is that band concert, so we got to do a march. And the march that we picked actually is very familiar to all of you, I believe, throughout popular culture in various different ways. It was actually a British march, written by a man by the name of Kenneth Alford. He composed heavily for the Royal Marines, the Royal Marine Band in the first half of the 20th century. This piece is again, it found its way into American culture in various ways. When you hear it, I'm sure you'll be able to discuss amongst yourselves and maybe even come up with some lyrics to it. This is a middle school dance concert, so I'd ask you to keep it clean. This is Colonel Bogey.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.